to the Real Estate Scripts Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. All right, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Today, we are reviewing tie downs. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound. And I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing. And I think it'll work out.
So I think we should stage the house so it shows better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we should wait till Thursday to list it on the MLS. Do you agree with that?
I do.
I think we should get some professional photographs taken. I'm sure you could see how that could work for you, right?
Absolutely. It'll really make the house pop.
Yes.
Maybe something like, after reviewing what we do for marketing to sell your house, looks pretty powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. So after I've gone over my whole presentation and I've shown you my marketing plan, do we have an agreement?
I think we do. Where do you want me to sign?
Awesome. So let me go over this step by step on the net sheet and what you'll come out with at the end after we sell your home. Does that help?
It does. And I appreciate you sharing that with me, because I can't wait to put all that money in my bank. Today is Wednesday. We're still on tie downs. And the 6 that we're going over today are, can we get this started for you? Next one is, wouldn't you? Another one is, and who wouldn't want that? Another one is, isn't that right? 2 more is, makes sense. And then the last one is, do you see what I mean? From there, those are the ones that we're going to do. And again, just as a reminder, tie downs are used to get clients to agree with you by saying yes or nodding their heads in agreement. It helps to improve your conversation, and by the end of the conversation, they are consistently saying yes to you. And by the time you get to the point of asking your main point, they are already in yes mode, and therefore will say yes. You just want to keep them in agreement so that when you say, hey, go ahead and sign here, they're willing to move forward, whatever it might be, as long as it's good for them. All right, well, you guys ready to do it?
I kind of like the rapid make you think response like we did yesterday.
Oh, well then, Emily, go.
Oh. Okay, now that I went over my marketing plan and I've told you a little about me and how I do things and how I'm going to list your home, can I get this started for you? I think I would go based on the prices of the homes that have sold in the last 30 days. I would probably price it around $950. Wouldn't you? I think I can get your home sold in probably between, I don't know, by the end of next month. And who wouldn't want that if you're ready to move to Indiana? Let's see. You wanted to get your home listed this week, right? Isn't that right? And I think we should stage the home because it's pretty empty with all your stuff moved out. That makes sense, right? Okay, is that 6?
Got one more.
One more? Oh, shoot.
Do you see what I mean?
Okay. So as far as the marketing plan and getting the professional photographer in here this week, I think it's super important to show your home in its best light. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so you're ready to list your home. Can we get this started for you? I should think we should get a pre-inspection just so there's no surprises when a buyer gets their inspection done. Wouldn't you? let's get the clutter picked up around your house so the pictures show the true beauty of your home. And who wouldn't want that? I think this is a great neighborhood and there would be a lot of people interested in your home. Isn't that right? I think we should probably put the for sale sign right out front in the yard so people see it. Make sense? I think that maybe we should have the lawn cleaned up a little bit. You see what I mean? And
That's it.
is that
Those
it?
are those are the 6. So those are good. Well, let's talk a little bit about tie downs. Just out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on them in general?
I think they're good and they make people open up to different perspectives or something that's in front of them, but they're not seeing. And I kind of tailored this more to someone for a listing, but I think it works good for buyers as well. Like, remember you wanted the big yard for your dogs to run around, or remember you wanted that, sparkling pool for the kids to play in the summer, things like that. Works for
Yeah.
buyers too. Or you said you like to cook a lot. This gourmet kitchen would work perfect for you, right?
No, you're absolutely right. And we could literally open up like the listing presentation or the buyer presentation and go through the whole process there. I'm trying to pull up my listing presentation, for example, and like when we go over the steps. So for example, initial meeting and walkthrough and needs analysis. So after they give us the different types of things that they need or want, we can really go back and remind them. Now, for example, in our initial conversation, you had talked about living in this particular area.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still the case? And I mean, even like that, is that still the case? It's either a yes or a no answer. So that's sort of that is a tie down as well. Signing the listing paperwork. Number 3, prepare your property for sale, pre-inspection, cleaning, pictures. Number 4 is launch, coming soon. 5 is officially list your property. And I'm saying this just to kind of create new ideas. Number 6 is launch just listed marketing campaign. Number 7, start showing your house and presenting to buyers. Number 8, receive and present offers. Number 9, review offers. Number 10, negotiate contract. Number 11, go under contract. Number 12, facilitate home inspection process. Number 13, negotiate any issues. Number 14, review and oversee appraisals. Number 15, coordinate, prepare for further inspection. Number 16, final and walkthrough. And number 17, close. The keys are what you eventually wanted. Isn't that right?
Yeah, right.
That's what we were hoping for. Yeah, I think you bring up a good point, is that, and you can go through the buyer presentation and find exactly every step along the way and incorporate some of those tactics. And that's the whole purpose. That's the whole reason why we do this, is because we want to be
Well,
able
you're validating them and
correct.
their wants and needs and whatever that means to each individual.
That's right. No, you're absolutely right. You're validating them. You're still making sure that you're on track, that you're still engaging with them, making sure, like you said, validating everything that you're doing. And they're going to tell you it's either a yes or no. And that's actually, when we think about it, when we use phrases like the magic words, they're more in the form of a question so that we can gain more information.
Mm-hmm.
And tie downs are a good use of, like you said, validating, making sure that the questions that we originally asked, is everything still
relevant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my friend that has to have a 3-car garage. I showed her one, but it's an L shape instead of 3 across. So that didn't work for her. So I said, this has a 3-car garage. However, one of the spots is tandem. Is that okay? And it wasn't.
That's interesting. See, there's a very good example of a tie down.
Mm-hmm.
As it pertained to the needs and wants that she originally had shared with you. That's cool. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
Makes sense. I think I need to practice more, getting used to saying the tie downs a lot. And because I think the tie downs are really what like makes the conversation like, smooth. It makes it a lot smoother, and then you'll be able to pull out extra information whenever you need.
And you
Okay.
can use them for, other stuff too. Talking
Yeah.
to your family, like walking the dog, I'm going to do this at 2:00. Does that work for you? Or, I'm going to pick you up from work. I can be there at 3. Is that okay? Things like that in your everyday conversations or at work. I'm going to get that report to you by 3:00 or by the end of the day, like we do with our contracts. I'm going to have this done by the end of the day, and we'll get the offer submitted. Is that okay with you? There's all kinds of things we could use it in besides real estate.
Absolutely. And to comment on what you just said, Kevin, everyone needs practice. I don't care what level you're at. It doesn't matter the level of experience. In fact, I even wrote in the description of this particular podcast that says, note, this is a safe place to practice. Be prepared to fail forward. All levels of experience are welcome. And I just want to make sure that it's, I even in the very beginning of that, it says, to that Scripts and Dialogues is a place for people to come in, or it's the intention actually. It says the intention of this podcast is for listeners to implement a weekly script practice so that you are well-rounded and equipped to have meaningful discussions with people serving their wants and needs. And then that's where it says, note, this is a safe place to practice. Be prepared to fail forward. All levels of experience are welcome. So we're always going to stumble. I mean, we're going to stumble on all these different things. And then what we're going to do is we're going to perfect them. And over time. And then eventually it's just going to become part of our natural way that we talk.
Going to become comfortable, and you're going to start doing with it without having really thinking of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I should use a tie down. It's just going to come natural.
Yeah. But it takes practice. It's like when I used to teach music a long time ago, the way that I taught music was like teaching people someone their ABCs, because at that time it was high school students that I was teaching. And, I go, everybody sing their ABCs, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, right? So they would sing their ABCs and they know them. No, that's perfect. But when you're learning them as a child, you're like A, B, what was it? Right, the little child, right? C, D, right? And then you figure it out, and then they finally make it all the way through the end. And then those are just letters. Those are just letters, and they're symbols that we know a symbol of an A looks like an A, and we call that image of an A. And then the same with the B, the same with the C. And then eventually we take a couple of those letters or 3 of them and we form a word. For example, cat, C-A-T, dog, D-O-G, right? So we form these little words called cat, called dog. And when we see that group of images put together, we know that is a word that spells the word cat. And then we can relate that to an animal later on. Well, then we can take a whole bunch of those words and we can put them together and we can make a sentence. And then that sentence can become a paragraph, and that paragraph can become a whole essay, and that essay can become a whole case study. And eventually it's just you perfected your language. Well, in music, as I was describing in music, there's quarter notes, half notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, and things like that in terms of playing music. And it's the same exact thing. I look at Scripts and Dialogues exactly the same way. We're structuring the way that we say things using all that stuff that I just talked about, like the letters and whatnot. But when we're talking to people in these situations, whether it's a buyer or a seller or an investor or anybody else. We're structuring the way that we say things per the industry or the topic that we're particularly discussing at that time. And again, like language, over time, we get better and better and better at it. That's how I view scripts and dialogues.
Now you should say, sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Is that does that sound reasonable? Everybody says yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Clap now. Yay. Just kidding. All right. Well, that's it for today. So we did a good job on that.
Okay, so you see how I'm coming to that price point, right? You understand?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Okay. So I think if we list your home on Thursday, do an open house on the weekend, I think that's our best strategy. You're with me on this, right?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Okay. I think if we start staging the home before we show it, that'll be the best thing to do. I can't think of a better way. Can you?
No, you're the expert, so let's do that.
Okay, so I went over my marketing plan. You seem to like everything I've said, right?
Yeah, it looks great. Let's go ahead and move forward.
So what do you think about fixing up the garden and putting maybe some fresh flowers to give it some curb appeal? Good solution, right?
Oh, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Okay, so I've gone over the contract. I don't really like to say contract. I kind of say more like agreement, but it is a contract. We are agreeing to work together. We're both signing, and you seem okay with that. So if I could have you sign here, agreed?
Yeah, that works for me.
That last one wasn't that good.
That's all right. Do you want to come up with another one?
So I think we should wait to list your home. We'll do the coming soon first. While we get the repairs done, just some minor touch-ups I think would be great. Agreed?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
All right, cool. There you go.
Okay. So I think we should wait until we get your pre-approval from the lender. That way we know what price point to start looking for homes at. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
All right. And then I can send you a list of homes and you can put them in order of what you like and which one you want to see first. Got it?
Yeah. Okay. That's perfect.
And I was thinking after we get the pre-approval and I send you that list, we should probably be ready to go look at homes next Saturday. Does that work?
Yes, that works perfect.
I think you should be ready to make a decision pretty quickly after we see the homes. What do you think?
I think that sounds good. Yeah.
And you're still looking for somewhere in La Mesa, isn't that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and you're moving out of your rental at the end of April. So I think if we get an offer in as soon as possible, that should be the best direction. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I think that sounds fine.
Whew, I feel like
All
I'm on
right.
a game show.
Well, you got 10 points.
All right.
All right, Kevin, you ready? You got those up?
Yes,
All right.
let's cracking. Don't you agree that we should list the house at a price that's sale at a reasonable time? Like, for example, if we brought down the price of this home in comparison to other homes, the likelihood of it selling quicker will be higher. Wouldn't you agree in comparison to selling it at a really high price or at the average price?
Yes. I think you're right. You're the expert.
Hey, Kevin, say that last one again, but this time rephrase it in such a way where you're ending with, don't you agree? And then stop. Don't say anything after that. So rephrase it, end with, don't you agree? And don't say anything after that.
Yeah, because you had it, but then you started talking about other pricing, medium and high, and And you could have just stopped where the tie ends at the end. So I have nothing to say, but yes, you're right. Because you're giving me more options to think about after you say, don't you agree? And then you're said, as opposed to pricing it this way or that way, then you're giving me more things to think about. If you end with the tie down, then all I can say is yes or no, right?
Right.
Say the same exact thing that you just did, but end it with, don't you agree? And be quiet.
So so we got some options here to list the house at the average price point. So, we can get the maximum amount for the sale, or we can list it at the selling point, which I think it would sell in the time frame that you would like. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way. Yeah.
It was a little better. But yeah, you're right. It's really difficult to say some of these off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
However, like I was explaining to Kevin yesterday, that we use these in our natural language every single day.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't realize that that's what we're doing because we don't think about it.
Right.
But to take real estate content and then intentionally incorporate some of these as a strategy of a way to get people to agree with you, that's a little more difficult.
It is to pre-plan it because, like you said, it's more natural conversation. It comes natural. So to think about it is a challenge sometimes.
It is. So I think we did good overall. I think you guys did great. I mean, just off the cuff, trying to think of some is not easy to do, but you did it. So that's it. That's it. That's
We're
it.
done?
That's it. We're done.
Okay.
Pretty short.
Short and sweet.
All right. So that's the script. I hope that you found it very useful. To download the script, just go ahead and head over to realestatescriptspodcast.com. There'll be a link there for you to download the script. This podcast is for the purpose of education only, and it does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek out the help of your broker, coach, or mentor for specific situations. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall at Repros, California DRE number 018534445.